Hello, welcome to Marza's Superhouse Diary. I have been running service accommodation for over 2 years, and I think it's time to share my story, to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. What inspired me to share my story is my recent performance, and I was sharing my story at various networking events and podcast episodes, and I thought that actually is the real value for people who are starting and don't know where to go, what to do, how to set up things, the mistakes that you make. And today I just want to tell you and share with you my beginnings. Everything that could have gone wrong have gone wrong. And I'm just going to focus on my 3 biggest mistakes I've made when I was setting up my apartment, my unit, and then when I was launching it. Okay, number 1, watch this space. So obviously I had to order some furniture and a few bits and pieces to obviously make sure the apartment is ready for the guests. Okay, lesson learned here. Make sure you order everything to one address. I was liaising between my address where I live and the property address, and obviously things that meant to come to the property address came to my home address, including big piece of furniture. Then how do I then move it to the actual property address? The other thing that went wrong, I've ordered a single bed and I got a double bed. I've ordered, the delivery meant to be for there like early in the morning. It came late in the evening, so I literally had to spend 8-9 hours waiting for the delivery. So my advice here, order your furniture early. Make sure you've got enough time, double check the address, double check the product. Also, what's very tricky, especially if you live in the UK, is ordering a sofa. I know, simple, right? You think, well, how can you not just order a sofa? The regular sofa from the shop usually takes between 8 to 12 weeks to be delivered, unless you take it from display, or unless you go to IKEA and they actually got it in stock. I've ordered my sofa through one of these online shops on Facebook, and literally a day before delivery, when I actually messaged them and asked, oh, hey guys, what's the update? What time the sofa will be coming? They informed me the sofa will no longer be coming. And I was like, hey, what? Sorry? So immediately I had to source another sofa, which obviously it wasn't the next day. What that caused is that I did not launch my apartment for another, I think about 2 weeks, at least 10 days, before I finalized the sofa purchase and before it was delivered. But okay, don't get me wrong, it does happen. I'm just sharing this so you can basically allow some contingency in your planning, because tell me, if you think things are going to go smoothly, they won't. There always will be something. So that was mistake number 1, okay? Furniture, disaster. Number 2 was probably even bigger. So when you set up your service accommodation, short-term listing, and you want to add it on Airbnb, Booking.com, or any other platform, what is the one crucial thing everyone will see first? Have a think. Photos. You got that. So I did know that, yes, I should not be taking photos of the property with my camera, right? And I didn't. However, instead, I found someone who was doing photography as their hobby. I said, okay, well, they've got camera, right? They don't use a phone. They don't use a phone to take the photos. So yeah, they've got a proper camera, looks professional. They can come and take photos of my apartment. Why not? I reached out and the guy agreed, but obviously I want to be very businesslike, and I said, no, don't worry, I will pay you, etc. He said it's going to be £100. He came in for, I thought it was going to be like half a day, literally an hour and a bit. Took the photos, fine, returned them really quickly. I thought, brilliant, I can now go and launch my apartment. I edited the photos and waited and waited and waited. And let me tell you, I did have big fat 0 booking. And I mean big fat 0, okay? And you know, when you first start, it's really playing on your mind if you've got 0 bookings after you launch your apartment. And then I started sharing my listing with more experienced operators, and every single one of them said, photos. Marza, change those photos, they're terrible. They don't give your apartment justice. The lighting is bad. They're not professional. They're not looking good. And at that time I thought, okay, well, I'm either going to change that, I'm going to stick to it. I had to change it. I did change it. I found another photographer that was recommended, professional. I paid another 250. So my biggest lesson learned from that is pay cheap, pay twice. but also photography is the most important aspect of this business. People are buying with their eyes. So if you're not going to invest in a professional photography setup, it's not going to work, okay? And trust me, this is the investment. If you think about it, you pay $250 for photos. Someone will just book in for 2 nights or 1 night, depending what your unit setup is, and you will have this investment straight back. So it's definitely worth it. I cannot recommend it enough, okay? Don't make the same mistake I made. And my third mistake was when I was setting up the price. So I did my research and I thought, oh, that's great. I can get about 120, 130 per night in my area, beautiful setup, everything. And I set the price quite high. And again, there were like no bookings. Only later I actually started to look a bit deeper into those listings. And I realized I haven't been comparing it like for like, okay? So if you're comparing your 2-bed apartment with 3-bed apartment with 2 baths, well, no wonder the price is different, right? So just check in terms of not only the property size, but facilities. Is there a parking? What's the location? Very often also, those operators that had higher prices, actually their calendars were empty, which would suggest, oh, the pricing might not necessarily be correct if they don't actually got any bookings. And this is when I realized I pitched a bit too high with my price. So always be on a cautious side, okay? Try to compare like for like. And as I say, don't go for the lowest, don't go for the highest. Pitch it to start with somewhere in the middle. And once you start getting momentum with the bookings and reservations, you will quickly get the hang of it. You will know what the commission system is looking like from Airbnb, where you can do discounts, etc. But more about pricing and how to calculate it will be in another episode of Marza Superhouse Diary. For now, I will leave you to it. Hope you liked it, what I shared today. Obviously, I encourage you to comment, subscribe, give thumbs up, and I will see you very shortly.